Hi, I'm Nicole Yoder. I'm coming to you from the Bloomfield Hills Equinox in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. So I've been teaching Best Stretch here since the format was introduced. I've been with the club for about 4 years. Been teaching since I was 18. I won't do the math for you on that, but out of all the yoga and cycle, all the formats I've been trained on, Best Stretch has been my favorite. I see such an opportunity with people who are regular yoga practitioners and those people who are in the club. I just think it's a great stretch for everybody, a great total body experience. And I've had the pleasure to witness people who have transformed and helped cure injuries or heal injuries. And so I just wanted to go through some things that I've kind of explored on my own. There's definitely videos out there that you can use, but I tried to put together a class in a way that flows so that it seems seamless. So I'll just throw together some different things that I've kind of explored within class. We'll start with our mobility stick perpendicular across the mat, and we'll start lying on our back for some spinal twists with assist. So lying down so that your head is on the opposite side of the mobility stick. Your arms should be able to reach out to a T. Lift your tailbone up and then lower it down so that you've got length from your shoulders to your hips. Think of hips reaching down your shoulders and the back of your skull. To start, we'll begin in a Shavasana, so extending your legs long and just lying here for a moment to help transition into this space. Although we don't move in a yoga-like way, there's definitely an opportunity to bring yourself present and your awareness to your breath. The breath is an opportunity to stretch into your body even before we make a move or move into a pose. Once we're ready, we'll bring our knees into our chest and wrap our arms around. Try to keep the shoulders planted to your mat and just take some circles with the lower part of your body. So think the bottom of your rib cage and below. From here, we'll lift our knees into a table position. Heels in line with knees over your hips. You can have a space between your knees. Reach your arms wide. Press down into the mobility stick, but grab a hold of that grip part. Press down and pull your shoulder blades together to lock the shoulder blades in. Engage through your belly. As you inhale, let both knees float to the right. Your range of motion might be limited because your left shoulder is down. Exhale to draw your knees right back to center and switch sides. So keep actively pressing down into the stick, keep pulling it closer to you, lift back through center. So we do that about 2 or 3 rounds. I'll have the class take their knees over in one direction, stay active in the upper body, press down into the stick, gaze moves to the opposite hand in the direction that your knees are, press down, pull together, open up, feel that stretch, let the legs be heavy, inhale into the left side of your body, and now become more passive in that stretch. So let go, let your arms relax, let gravity move you into the twist. We'll engage once again to lift our knees back up to center, tabletop, trying to keep that space between our knees. We'll go through the knees to the side, other side, and then take it and pause with our knees to the left and our gaze to the right, active with the stick, and then becoming more passive. After we do that, I'll have class bring the stick up and we'll move into some roll-ups. So taking the stick overhead, extending our feet out long and coming into that sort of Pilates stance with our heels together, balls of our feet pressing, toes pulling back. Arms are reaching overhead, adding some pressure between our arms as we pull the stick apart. And then just a simple roll up, chin to chest, upper back, middle back, lower back. I'll have them reach all the way forward and then reach the stick up and overhead and finding length through our spine here, pulling that stick. We'll bring the stick back out chest level and then roll back, low back, middle back, upper back until they're lying all the way onto the floor. We'll do that about 3 or 4 times. That helps bring us up from lying on our back. That final round, I'll encourage people to put a bend to their knees and bring the stick underneath their toes. And from here, they can straighten their legs to move into a stretch or keep that bend into the knees, pulling the shoulder blades back, but also adding some leverage by pulling the outsides of the stick back. Eventually, we work to straighten our legs as much as we can and move into a forward fold, maybe tip right, tip left. Some opportunity there. You can become more passive in the upper body. And we release it down. Bringing your knees to your chest, we'll roll forward and we'll move into a seated posture. Sometimes I'll begin class in this way using the block because it helps to keep people mindful of their hips being square. A lot of times when we move into this twists with the mobility stick, we end up moving our whole body. Where sometimes when we're moving into the shoulders and the upper body, we want to not isolate into it, but really help keep a strong foundation and build the strength in between our rib cage and our hips. So I encourage people to move onto the block, the middle section or the lower section, either legs crossed, or I'll have them come into a hero's pose, kneel down, mindful of any knee issues. They can use the blanket underneath. Bringing that mobility stick out in front of you, keeping arm's length long through the arms, curling that tailbone under, trying not to talk too much about the tuck, but we really want to keep the belly button hugging in and keeping that strong foundation. Squeezing the stick together, we move through some shoulder flossing, pull the stick apart, bring it back behind your neck. And what this is going to do is prevent people from arching their back, really keeping the tailbone tucking under. So we'll do that a few times, squeezing those hands together and lowering the stick with control, drawing the belly in. I like to do this when we move back into a more of a flow with the shoulder flossing, so that people don't rotate through their body or use their body for momentum. And I really like to bring it onto our shoulders and use this as we bring our hands on top of the mobility stick. We can reach side to side, we can keep our hips steady and just reach from the belly button above, taking those side bends. And then finally, I like to do a twist where we twist right and left. I'll have the gaze move with us, with the stick, and then I like to reference a golf game, keeping your gaze forward and really moving into that twist, feeling the rotation through the rib cage. Throughout the whole time, the active resistance that we create by adding a counterbalance. So as much as we push with the right hand, the left hand is going to resist that. We come back through center and release. Bring the stick out in front of us, plant the hands out in front of us. I'll move through a few mobility movements like cat-cow. I always like to begin early on with a plank pose to remind us of those muscles that we're engaging throughout a puppy dog hang or a monkey hang, kneeling or standing. We'll move into a downward facing dog, enough so that we can bring our blanket across our mat. And one of the things I like to add into a puppy dog hang is when we finally make our way to kneeling and we bring that stick out in front of us, instead of dropping those hips back, I like to press down into the stick, arms extended, belly tight, and have people reach forward to engage their core. Automatically, you start to feel that trembling, that shaking, press down into the stick to come back. And we do that 3 or 4 times, then move into our puppy dog hang. I like to add some cat-cow here, just in the hips to open up those little hips before we add some swings into that, exploring that way. Press down into the stick to roll up. I usually stay on the knees. We move into some lunges that have been introduced through Equinox, and I usually follow those or explore making modifications along the way. To move to standing, we take our stick across the top of our mat, and we make our way back to that downward facing dog. Remove the blanket. I usually have people walk forward and stay here, a series of a halfway lift, 3 rounds, and then we reach down, grab a hold of our mobility stick, and stand tall, reaching up tall. I've incorporated what I call around the world, so taking the feet out a little bit wider. I feel like this helps transition from the floor to standing and to really engage the whole body. Toes turned out slightly, tuck of the tailbone, slight bend to the knees. We're going to take that overhand grip straight arm, and much like we were doing the shoulder flossing, we start to reach the stick towards the right side of the wall, but make sure that we can gaze underneath our arm, up overhead, opportunity to add a back bend a little bit, and then over to the other side, making sure that that stick makes its way parallel to the wall, the floor, the opposite wall, up overhead. And so we'll do that 4 or 5 times and then switch. And what that does is really warms up that midsection of the body all the way through. From there, we might move into some puppy dog hangs. I've incorporated some warrior 2 lunges where we bring the stick on our shoulders and lunge in, tapping down, working into that side body again. And then a big shoulder opener that we've come together with is bringing that stick in front of us. Big toes come to touch, standing tall. Stick is at 12 and 6 o'clock straight down the center of you. Take it into your left hand and reach the stick long. Bring your right elbow up in line with your right shoulder. Take your arm across your body and then pull the stick in. Grab a hold of the stick with your right palm, and then release your left hand down your side. Take the stick over to the side, so it's going to be more of a 45-degree angle. We inhale to feel that opening through the back of our shoulder blade, and exhale, pull it in. Driving pressure through the base of the stick, soft bend at the knees. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, a few rounds like that, really pressing down with the bottom of our elbow. Moving back to bring that stick in front of us. Thread your left arm close to your body, underneath your right. Bend at the elbow. We come into eagle arms, so grab a hold of the stick or your forearm. I'll shift here. From here, pulling and dropping the shoulders down, engage through the tailbone, and then we let our hips drop back, and maybe we let our right cheek rest on our bicep, and then reaching it side to side. So just opening up a little bit. And breathing in between the shoulder blades. When we come out of it, eventually, we release our left hand. That right arm feels like it's floating. So we increase the mobility and the range of motion that way. And then that leads us into an opportunity to move into bow and arrow. So then we kind of open up into there, take some variations, much of what we have learned through the format. To bring people back to the floor, I like to take our stick across our hips and do some good mornings. So as we inhale, both feet planted, 10 toes facing forward, assuming you have 10 toes. Inhale, send your hips back, crown of your head reaches forward, pull the belly in. Now there's active pressure being placed on the outsides of the stick, and then we engage with the back of our legs or glutes to stand tall. We do that a few times. And then pausing halfway, press the outsides of the stick towards the back wall, finding all that length, and keep the length as you fold forward, then releasing the arms. So we're folded in half. I like to reference that we're a pair of pants folded over a hanger, or in the summer, a towel over a clothesline. I often reference being part of Cirque du Soleil, like you could lift your legs off of the ground. And then from there, we would lift up just enough to remove our mobility stick, place it down in front of us, walk our hands back, we make our way down to the earth. Another opening that I like to do while we're down here on the earth is a rainbow shoulder opener. So I might tell, and this is a little bit wonky, it's a Michigan word. It's a little bit challenging to describe, because no matter how well you tell people what to do, I usually have to walk around and kind of adjust people. But essentially, lying down on our back, taking the stick over to the right side, we're going to bring our knees hip distance up above our hip stacking table, and then take the knees over to the right side. Our right hand is going to stick on top of our left, so we're in that fetal pose. Lift your right knee just enough and extend your left leg long. Lower your right knee to the earth. Bring the stick on the outside of your right knee. Hook your left foot on top of the mobility stick. Extend your left arm. So there's a lot of words there. I usually try to break it down a little bit more. Right hand comes on top of your left ear is resting, and then we open up into these big opening, shoulder opener, bringing that right palm behind our low back, coming back through center, reaching all the way around. And so we'll do that a few more times on either side. To end, sometimes I'll roll us back in those roll-ups like we did at the beginning. I like to sometimes end with a scorpion on our chest, where we reach our arms wide and lift our leg and sweep it over, again in the progression, just like we did at the beginning of the twist. And those are just some of the options that I've sort of come together to put together a flow and make the class move seamless. I always end in a shavasana and try to reference people that although when we do an art project or paint, we kind of let that project rest so that the paint can dry or the glue can dry, but that would reference some tightness, some solid strength. In a way, we want to just open ourselves up to let everything sort of take place in a softening sort of way. We come together, we sit tall, either on your block or seated. I usually like to end with a few circles up overhead, just so people can explore the mobility that they've created. And we end just taking a moment to acknowledge and appreciate our time and effort and energy of being here. So I can't say enough how much I adore teaching this class, and how connected I feel to our members before, during, and after. There's conversations, people are asking questions, and it's an opportunity for me to do more creativity within the class. Thank you so much.